Alright, so I was just trying to think of all the fighting games I've enjoyed, and my favorite character from all of them. Now, maybe you'll see a few patterns. I see a few patterns, but maybe you'll see some patterns I didn't see in my favorite character decision making. So we're gonna list these all off real quick. Maybe I'll say a comment or two, but there's more to get through than I thought there were. We're gonna start with the Street Fighter series. Chun-Li, of course Chun-Li. Chun-Li was the person I picked because she was the fastest character. At least that's the argument I made. I don't know why I picked Chun-Li. Mostly because her backflip jump off the wall was a very reliable fake out move. It really helped me change things up on opponents because I didn't know combos back then. And also shout out to Sakura. Basically, I like her the same way I loved Pichu in Smash Bros. Melee. Weaker versions of characters are always fun. If you want to really assert dominance on a player, you want to pick someone who's kind of scoffed at, just to really add insult to injury. Next is from Project Justice. My favorite character is definitely Shoma. He's basically like a baseball version of Cloud from FF7. Like, he has the spiky hair, kind of dumb. His bat is essentially as big as Cloud's sword, and he carries it the exact same way. How Shoma doesn't find his way into a Capcom fighting game is just ridiculous. How could you not have the fighting baseball player represent your video game about high schools fighting each other? Instead they have Batsu in games still. Like anyone cares about his generic Ryu looking ass. Alright, moving on. Darkstalkers, Morrigan, because Morrigan had that lovable jetpack wing move that could move her forward and let her cover some ground. I absolutely love any kind of attack or maneuver that gives you basically an extra jump in a fighting game, because it really helps me with fake outs and to get drop on people. Which actually brings us to Guilty Gear and BlazBlue. For Guilty Gear, my favorite character definitely Mei, who, no matter how many Guilty Gear wiki pages I read, just for reasons unknown can carry an anchor twice her size. Not only that, but she's basically Aqua Woman because she summons dolphins and whales to straight throw down in her name. And in BlazBlue, my favorite is Tsubaki. Now, a lot of the things I love about BlazBlue are story-based. I mean, the game is wonderful to play, but the storyline is just another level. And Tsubaki's tragic storyline definitely makes me root for her. Another favorite based largely on the storyline. Now again, I love playing the game obviously, and I love matching up with my friends and all that good stuff, but the storyline on Mortal Kombat is really a notch above a lot of storylines in any video game. Like, one, it's consistent. I mean, even the reboot played it up like they went back in time to change the events slightly of the originals. So it's all technically canon. And they do it because they care. And they know people like me care. People that read the words inside instruction manuals and want to know why I'm jumping on enemies' heads, or why I'm trying to kick a sumo wrestler in the face, or throw fireballs at a movie star. Then we got Primal Rage. My favorite is definitely Sauron. One of his moves was he just roared. It dodges projectiles or something, but if you see a projectile coming at you, are you going to put an intricate move sequence in that allows you to stand perfectly still and avoid projectiles? Or are you just going to jump or duck under it? But nonetheless, Sauron was definitely my favorite. Garu, Mark of the Wolves. My favorite character is B. Janae, the awesome pirate chick fighter. Arcana Heart 3 is Akane, a ninja girl, but no one's matched up a beat with her yet. Someday, I'll get my ninja girl hip-hop mixtape. Persona 4 Arena, Chie is definitely my favorite character, because she basically kicks the crap out of everyone, and she has some of the best dialogue in the entire game. And then King of Fighters 13 in particular, because that's the one I've played the most recently. Leona from the Akari Warriors team. quickly became my favorite when I found out you could easily do a palette swap in KOF 13 to make her look like Sammy from Advance Wars. And since then I've been rocking her on my King of Fighters team. But shoutouts to my original favorite, King, though she looks like a waiter or something. And I think Shay O'Reilly has something to say about SNK characters. But King with her awesome kick attacks. Oh, and shoutouts to Blue Mary, who I loved using in KOF 98 with her crazy long-range wrestling moves. And then Tekken, the first 3D fighter I'm talking about, the only 3D fighter I'm talking about, isn't that a thing? The Tekken series, my favorite is Michelle, who I used in Tekken 2, the one I played most often because I had it on the PlayStation. But shoutouts to Julia, who apparently took Michelle's place in the newer Tekken games, and apparently in the latest Tekken became a lucha wrestler. I mean, I have to support any references to lucha wrestling in video games. I think that is one of my missions in life. Maybe I can make a podcast about it. Killer Instinct. We got some Killer Instinct music coming up, don't you worry. My favorite character, definitely Spinal. There's nothing as sweet as that combo from the original Killer Instinct, where you could turn into the other character and launch their projectile in a fit of mockery that every fighting game deserves. And finally, my favorite fight from Urhighs. Ha! No one likes Urhighs.